Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision, and coming up on finishing up the first week of classes here at Maryville. Glad to have everybody back on campus. Glad to see a lot of our outstanding student athletes walking around the Simon Center and down at the complex. And we're going to have a brand new face going down to our brand new athletic complex. He's going to be taking over our men's lacrosse team. Very familiar with the area, very familiar with Maryville, and it's Scott Stark. And Scott, first off, congratulations and welcome to Maryville.
I appreciate it, Jim. I'm glad to be here and looking forward to getting things going.
You know, talk a little bit about yourself. You're no stranger to the lacrosse community here in the St. Louis area. You've worked in Division II at Lindenwood. Talk a little bit about yourself. Give us your resume and tell people kind of what Scott Stark is all about.
Well, I'm certainly no stranger. When I first came to St. Louis to be a graduate assistant over at Lindenwood, I thought it was going to be a short stay, and I've definitely found a home here. So, definitely lucky to be here and continue my career here. But I was a hockey guy growing up, and found the sport of lacrosse somewhere at the beginning of my high school career, and kind of that started to foster into some opportunities post high school, and wound up playing at the University of Minnesota Duluth, and wound up getting the opportunity to kind of grow there as a lacrosse player, certainly as a person throughout my collegiate career, and then got the opportunity to kind of stay on staff after my 4 years of eligibility and got to start coaching there. And so I've kind of really always stayed in college coaching. And then got the opportunity to kind of come down to Lindenwood in the fall of 2013 to join Coach Lang and his staff over at Lindenwood, and then kind of worked my way through his program, going from a GA up to associate head coach, and got to kind of help really kind of build that program up from, entering the Division II days there, and definitely turned into something great, and looking forward to continuing that with Maryville.
You've seen our program grow over the last couple of years, being that you were up at Lindenwood, and what we've done with our lacrosse program, I think in the baby stages, so to say, has just been outstanding. Now that you're on the inside and you're not on the outside looking in, what really impressed you about the Maryville lacrosse program, and why did you want to become the new head coach?
Well, I think it dates back a few years. Just when the program started up, I was kind of at a point in my career where I was kind of taking a look at some opportunities, and Maryville sparked my interest then, and certainly continued to grab my interest as the program built. And number one thing is just the entire profile of it. I mean, you're in a great city. You're near a area where you definitely get to live the city life, but you're still outside of the city, to where you kind of get the campus feel. And so just the profile of kind of where it's at, from a standpoint of, like I said, getting that college experience as well as having the lifestyle in a city, and just the opportunities that St. Louis has to offer. So that was definitely the first thing that grabbed my attention. I mean, kind of when you're going through the ranks of coaching and kind of figuring out what you want, you're certainly looking at the different institutions that you go and compete at, and kind of always wondering what institution are you going to get that opportunity for. And I always felt that Maryville had that profile that definitely fit it. And then just from what Mark Lombardi's done, from kind of building up the institution and really putting a brand on it, I think it's really exciting. And then just going back to what Coach Schaefer and Coach Burke have done in the last few years, they've definitely built it, and they put it on the map in 2019 by, kind of going 9-6 and really putting the program out there of saying, hey, we're building something special. And unfortunately, the season got cut short last year, but I know a lot of the returning guys were really excited to kind of continue building on that. And then, I feel that that's the same energy now. So really for me, it's just coming in and making sure that we're moving forward, making sure that, we are continuing to put a locker room full of guys who believe in it and continue to believe in the brand, as well as, continuing to move the lacrosse program forward. But also, if I can go back to the previous question about Maryville, I mean, just the academic profile that the school offers, and the connections they have to the surrounding areas and the businesses around this area to open up those opportunities for our student athletes and just students in general, but definitely our student athletes. That's something that really entices me. And so I'm really looking forward to kind of getting in and building that.
How huge is the new field and new facilities going to be? Obviously, you had a chance to see it on the other side last year, as unfortunately it was the only game that we had a chance to play on down at the new facility. But, and just seeing the new facility, how excited you are for that and the guys to get a full season into it, but also for the recruiting aspect of it, which is huge?
Well, number one, I think that it shows the support that the institution's giving towards the lacrosse program, as well as all their athletics. I mean, the plans that are on paper that for this school moving forward are exciting, and that was of everything moving forward. So I certainly think that it opens some opportunity just to say, hey, the support's there. But I certainly think from a recruiting standpoint, to have our own facility, to have a field that we share with, a few other programs around our community, but to really just have something that's walking distance, you walk right out of the door of your locker room and walk right onto the field. It's really exciting. It's a beautiful facility. And they really kind of fitted in nicely with campus. And so there's certainly an opportunity from a recruiting standpoint. But I think from the start, you look at the profile of the institution, where it's at, where the academic offerings are at, it just kind of fits really nicely with the entire package. So, definitely a selling pitch, but it's certainly, like I said, a big selling pitch for the guys to see that the support is there, and something for me to stand on, as well as our staff to say, hey, the school support is here, and we got to make sure we're doing what we need to do to make sure it's moving in the right direction. So
Chris Burke is going to come back and join you on staff, and I know that's pretty big for you to keep the continuity and everything along those lines. What are some of the things you are going to be looking forward to as coaching this group, as in offense, defense? What are some of your philosophies that we're going to see on the field?
Well, number one thing is I got to get to know the guys, right? And so Coach Burke is really helping me on that front. And he did a ton of work in the recruiting process along with Coach Schaefer to build this group. So we are certainly looking forward to kind of getting these guys in. We have a pretty large freshman class, and so getting to know them is going to be the number one thing. And when it comes to philosophy, my ideas are making sure that we have the right guys in the room, that we make sure that we have a standard within the program that we want to. And then I think when it comes to the on-field stuff, it's really going to come down to making sure that, we fit with what we have on the field. I certainly have some philosophies that I live by from an X's and O's standpoint. But a lot of that is really kind of just making sure we're putting our guys in the right situation to succeed. And we have a pretty good mixture of internationals from Canada and Germany to having some guys in the States from all over the country. And so it's really going to be about getting on the field with these guys and seeing what we have and kind of building the program around them. But a lot of excitement in the returning guys. And then, I know we have a large freshman class that are really excited to get things going. So it's really about just getting on the field. And again, having the guys in the locker room that understand what we're about and what we're going to do. And that's really what Coach Burke and I have been doing this past week, and what we'll continue to do in the weeks coming, is just making sure that the guys understand, what we're asking of them, and making sure that we're listening to them in the sense of saying, hey, what type of direction do you want to take this thing? It's easy to talk about it, but how are we going to live it? And how are we going to wake up every day to make sure that, we are taking the steps forward to being better people as well as being better student athletes?
Awesome stuff, Coach. Well, I know we're excited to have you here. I can't wait for lacrosse season to get here so I can announce some lacrosse games down at the new complex. Only had a chance to do one last year, so I'm chomping at the bit a little bit to announce some lacrosse in the spring. But we're so excited to have you. I know there's going to be a lot of great things, and it's going to be great to work with you moving forward.
I'm looking forward to joining you and the rest of the staff and getting these things going. So go Saints. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Scott Stark joins us here on Saints Vision, and the exciting times once again here at Maryville University as we welcome our brand new lacrosse coach. You'll be able to see them in the spring once the lacrosse season starts in early February. And it's going to be an exciting time down at the MAC for our men's lacrosse team. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week. And as always, go Saints.